welcome to Talk Fights. I'm Curtis Biggs. I'm joined again by my brother Adam Biggs, and we're going to talk about this weekend's UFC event. It is Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum at middleweight. It is a great fight. Both guys very, very exciting, great fighters. Whittaker, a former champion, Gastelum, a former title challenger. This is a great fight.
Yeah, like you said, Whittaker's former champ. Gastelum, they both lost to Adesanya.
Yep.
They both had a lot of similar opponents, similar losses even.
Yep.
Guys on their roster.
Well, they both lost Adesanya, as you said. They both fought Darren Till.
Yep.
Both beat Ronaldo Souza.
Yep.
Both beat Ryan Hall.
A lot of guys.
Common opponents.
Ton of guys, ton of common opponents. And you know what? And they both proven to be showstoppers at times, right? So
Absolutely.
it could very well be fireworks. I think Gastelum is a little bit more inconsistent than Whittaker. I mean, Whittaker obviously, like I said, was former champ. And Gastelum's had his ups and downs, but he's had some pretty high ups too, right?
Definitely. Gastelum's a great fighter. We actually got to see Gastelum fight live at the UFC in Toronto a few years back, where he stopped Tim Kennedy in a great bout.
Yeah. Like I said, Gastelum has his ups and his downs. He's got great boxing, like you mentioned earlier.
He's coming off a string of losses. I think I said earlier that Gastelum beat Darren Till. He did, and he lost to Darren Till recently. Split decision. His last fight was a win over Ian Heinisch, where he looked very good. Prior to that, I think he lost to Jared Kennedy. No, he didn't. He lost to somebody else. It was Whittaker just beat Kennedy.
Right.
But anyway, he's coming off a few losses other than the Heinisch win.
Yeah. For me, I think it'd be a spoiler for Gastelum to come in and win. Like, he's got a lot of explosiveness. Like we talked about, his boxing's good before. His wrestling. He's been submitted a few times. They've actually both been submitted, I think, 4 or 5 times each.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're both susceptible to that. I think if Gastelum's going to win, he's got to be better on the boxing. He's got to get the best of them just standing still there.
Yeah,
and then I think he's got to get in and do a bit of dirty boxing, a bit of clinch work, and not let Robert Whittaker use his explosive power or his speed. He's gonna have to, you know, maul him and stifle him at times, right?
Absolutely. And Whittaker, as you said, he's very good. He's very explosive. He's got great kicks. He's very fast. He's very athletic. Whittaker's he was a great champion. He's very tough. He had those 2 great wins over Yoel Romero. Tough fight against Adesanya, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's Adesanya, right?
Well, and that happens to everybody. Happened to Gastelum too, obviously. We talked about Gastelum has got a pretty good chin.
He's never been stopped in his 22 fights. He's never been stopped. He's fought some great fighters.
Whereas Whittaker's been knocked out a couple of times.
That's right. He got knocked out by Adesanya. I can't think of anyone else from the UFC that stopped him, but he has been stopped.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's weak chin, but at the same time he's shown that he can be knocked out.
Absolutely.
Whereas Gastelum has weathered the storm, even through some tough situations, and he's made it to even on the losing end to the decision.
No doubt. I mean, even in the Israel Adesanya fight, he was dropped several times. But continued to fight his way through it, right? He's very, very tough.
Gastelum's a beast.
Gastelum's very tough. So how is this going to play out? I think that the Gastelum is the shorter man. He's only 5'9", whereas Whittaker's 5'11". He needs to be very aware of his range. He needs to get in close and hit Whittaker with everything he's got, with inside of those body shots, those uppercuts, and those hooks. If he stays on the outside, he's liable to get caught very quickly and very hard by Robert Whittaker.
I would agree. I totally think, like I said, if Gastelum's going to win, his key to victory is going to be to outbox, but not in the sense where he's dancing away, where he's working his way in and getting his range, and then like I said, then stifle him, get him up against the cage, and you got to win in the clinch. He's got to throw a bit of knees, some foot stomps and things like that.
Yep.
But like I said, if he lets Whittaker stand back and unload on him, he could be in trouble.
I agree. Both guys talented wrestlers, but I just don't see this being much of a wrestling match. I see it being mostly a striking match.
I agree. I think both of them want to go out there and
put on a show,
and bang it out and put on a show. Yeah, I think they both got something to prove right now.
Absolutely, and Whittaker, you know, he's on his way back into title contention. Certainly back in title contention, but I mean, looking for another shot at the title. Gastelum, he's, you know, again, he's only had one win. I think his last 4 fights, but a win over Rob Whittaker would be huge. That really propels him forward in that weight class. It should be a great fight. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We saw Whittaker win. Excuse me, not Whittaker. We saw Gastelum when he fought Michael Bisping. He showed that very good boxing. He's a southpaw and excellent fundamentals, a perfect, very crisp jab cross, and knocked Michael Bisping right out.
Right.
And it was excellent.
But he does have that power behind it too.
But I think Whittaker's got a little more power than Michael Bisping. I think Gastelum needs to be a little more wary of him than he was.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. I think, like I said, if Gastelum's going to win, he would have to play spoiler. I don't see that happening personally. I think Whittaker's going to be able to land some good shots and drop them. I think Gastelum's going to take his first finish late 4th round.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm taking Whittaker for the win.
Yep. I'm probably going to go with Whittaker for the win as well. I think it's just going to be too much for Kelvin Gastelum, but I don't think he's going to stop him. Gastelum is very durable. Again, we've seen it time and time again. I think it's not going to be an easy fight for Whittaker, but I expect him to take it by the time the final bell rings.
Right on.
Yeah, sure should be a good fight. It's free on TV. It's going to be great. I'll be watching. See you at the fights. All right. My secret power is fatness.
I knew that was
You knew it. Oh, strong claws, dirty pool.